Hello friends, I welcome you all to this online CatiaV5 training brought to you by Meshmind Creative Learning. In this video tutorial, we are going to take a look at the introduction to Catia. We are going to explore what Catia is all about, what are its functional capabilities and why it is popular in the industry. So let's just get started. Catia is actually an acronym for Computer Aided Three-Dimensional Interactive Application. Catia was launched by a French company called Dassault Systems in 1970, and it is basically a software which is used to convert 2D drawings into some 3D models. So these models can actually be a part model, and then once they are ready you can make complex assemblies like the one shown here, or it can be something like sheet metal modeling or surface modeling or anything in that fashion. So it is basically used to convert 2D drawing which is shown here probably into a 3D model like this one. So this is yet another computer aided designing which is called as the CAD software, and it has been brought to you by Dassault Systems. Okay. So what are the special features of Catia? Catia, if you can see, is one of the most widely used softwares in top tier industries, primarily because of its great functionalities. So you can see here that you can create part and assembly modeling, which is the prime most reason for CAD models being used in the industry today, and it is used for creating extremely good surface models like the one that is shown here. Sheet metal modeling is also one of the most widely used application of Catia. DMU analysis, which is actually called as the digital mockup analysis, helps you to carry out some analysis on the components that have been created. Electrical harness routing is the popular option in the electrical domain for which Catia is being used. For example, Boeing 787 had all its electrical wiring and harness assemblies being assembled and simulated using CatiaV5. And also one of the widely used features is the HVAC, which is called as heat ventilation and air conditioning. So it is actually used where you can simulate flow through ducts for your air conditioner, or maybe heat rejection systems from the IC engines and things like that. So these are some of the most interesting powerful applications of Catia, why it is becoming popular in the industry. So we know that there are n number of CAD softwares, and Catia is constantly being challenged by some of the other CAD modeling softwares like SolidWorks, NXCAD by Siemens, and softwares like that. So why is Catia preferred in top tier industries? For example, if you can think of any top tier industries, tier 1 and tier 2 industries, they generally go for Catia. One of the most important reasons is that Catia has been one of the oldest and the most reliable CAD modeling softwares. It was developed in 1970s, and it was very popular in the European and American industries. So what happens is when a company opts for one particular software, it becomes really difficult for them to switch over to other softwares. So one of the oldest companies and the companies which are being who were the first to transform to virtual analysis and CAD modeling chose Catia because it was the only software in those days. So the reason that it is pretty old and reliable makes Catia the first choice for many tier 1 industries. And as you can see, it is a multi-platform software. It is actually a software where you can design and simulate the entire product cycle, entire life cycle of a product. So you can start by conceptualizing your idea through a CAD design and a CAD model, and then you can even do a digital mockup, digital DMU analysis on it. Another reason why Catia is very powerful or very much favored in the industry is because it has got a huge collection of library files. So what I mean by library file is the collection of default components such as gears, such as nuts, bolts, and things like that. And the library is extremely editable, so that what tier 1 companies do is that they create their own library where they have collection of the components that they make or they procure, so that the drawings are readily available, and the CAD engineers can just pick and drop the tools from the library. So this reduces a lot of time in designing, and especially when you're going to carry out maybe electrical analysis on them, it becomes one of the best lifelines that harness engineers have actually got. And CA analysis provision is always there in Catia. So after the product has been developed, as we saw in the previous slides, you can actually do a DMU analysis, which is actually a digital mock-up analysis, where you can do FEA or up to, or even CFD analysis up to some extent. So this really gives you an opportunity to complete the life cycle of a product from the stage of modeling till analysis, and probably finding out where the component is likely to get failed or something like that. So, and then file editing is going to be really easy. So this is going to be a parametric modeling software, where what parametric modeling software actually means is that if you've got a very huge assembly and if there are many linked components, and if you're going to change the dimension of same dimension or any feature of one particular component, then it's going to get updated across all the components. So this really reduces a lot of time, especially when the complexity of the model becomes very high. So it becomes really impossible for you to locate every related component and probably change it there. So Catia, being a parametric modeling software, really makes the editing a lot simpler, because if you can make the changes in one component or at one place, it gets updated across all the related components. So one of the greatest advantages of Catia is that the surface finish that it gives is really good. So Catia is probably you can say the go-to software for surface modeling, because the finishing and the rendering qualities of the surface is going to be the best as compared to any other software. So these are some of the advantages that you can think of why Catia is being widely preferred in the industries these days. So this slide shows you some of the top companies, Tier 1 companies, which actually use the Catia software. Catia is widely used in automotive and aerospace sectors. So you can see that two aerospace giants, Airbus and Boeing, widely use Catia. Boeing actually used CatiaV5 for its Boeing 787, which is a new airliner that's coming up. And it used Catia electrical to a great extent to simulate and to assemble the electrical harness and wiring components. Automotive companies like Audi, BMW and Daimler, the three German giants, also go for Catia. And the Indian companies like Tata, Mahindra and Mahindra, or even Ford for that matter, primarily use Catia for the design of door trims, maybe Class A external surfaces like the body design, and also for to some extent even the chassis structures are being designed using CatiaV5. So this is the end of the tutorial. So in this tutorial we have seen an introduction to Catia as to why Catia is being popular and what are its functional capabilities. Thanks for watching the video.